Let me welcome to the Street 919 FM studio the Mayor of Point Fortin, Her Alderman Salima Thomas. Her Worship, welcome. Her Worship, just 1 minute. Please check your mic. Your mic seems to be muted. It's still mute. Yeah, let's see if we could get it addressed. Let's see if we could work it out. It shows that it's mute on my end. I am not hearing you. I hope you're hearing me. All right, let's try again. Are you there?
Are you hearing me?
Loud and clear. Thank you so much. I can hear you.
Okay, good. All right, so as I said, good afternoon, and thank you so very much for the introduction. I am happy to be here with you this afternoon to share or to speak on behalf of the people of Point Fortin as we celebrate or commemorate our 43rd anniversary.
Well, I know that it has been since COVID, the people of Point Fortin had the opportunity to come out and partake of these celebrations. How is it for the borough? Are people anticipating a very good festival this year?
Yes, they are indeed. They are eagerly awaiting, or actually we would have already started our calendar of events, and we would have started last weekend on Saturday the 8th of April. So yes, we have seen the eagerness of our burgesses as they attend the various events that would have already went.
Awesome indeed. I'm looking forward to come down there as well this year and take part. I see we also have on the link Councillor Kwesi Thomas. Councillor, welcome. How are you?
I'm fine, and yourself?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for being a part of today's program.
I said,
and
no problem, I'm glad to.
Could you tell us what area do you represent?
Well, I represent the electoral district of Egypt. I'm also the chairman of the Culture and Celebrations Committee.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being a part of this interview. So, Her Worship, could you tell us exactly, for those listening for the first time and not too familiar with the term, what is Borough Day?
Okay, so Borough Day is, it commemorates when we first became a borough, and that would have been on the 30th of April, 1980. So the then Mayor Blake, who was the first mayor to sit in the corporation, at that time, in his capacity as mayor, when we became a borough, the celebrations was one to commemorate, that anniversary of us becoming a borough, and it was a day of celebration. And since then, from the 10 mayors, well, I'm the 11th mayor, from the 10 mayors before me, our celebrations would have grown. The purpose for us having our anniversary celebrations, or Borough Day as it's well known throughout the country and the world, is because the then mayors would have seen it as an opportunity to boost economic development in the community. They saw the opportunity of, allowing a festivity or a celebration so that the local businesses in the community and the burgesses could have benefited from it. So over time, when we saw the great benefit and the significance of the anniversary celebrations, the calendar just grew and grew with time because, as we evolved, things changed. And with new council members and with a vision for enhancement and development, that came with, that is how the calendar would have evolved into now a month long of activities, from one day to now a month long of activities.
Okay, awesome. And could you tell us how long has Point been celebrating Borough Day? I think you listed that a short while ago, yeah? Since what year?
43,
43 years.
43 years this year,
Awesome.
43 years.
What are the main events people usually look forward to around this time?
Well, as I said, the main events, we know persons look forward to the actual weekend, that culmination of where persons will come to the Pan on the Move, the Juve celebration and the Pan on the Move. And that is on the 6th of May. Every first Saturday in May is the Borough Day weekend of celebrations or activities. And this year it's being held on the 6th of May. So we know that most persons over the years would have looked forward to the Borough Day weekend, the Saturday for the Juve and the Pan on the Move. But we have now on our calendar of events other events that a lot of persons look forward to. And if you would permit me to just share with you
Sure.
some of the events, yeah?
Yes.
So Point Fortin is known to be the mecca of sports. And I cannot, it would be remiss of me if I do not say that. And because of our sporting icons and our long-standing history of the contribution or the significant contribution of sports to Point Fortin and by extension Trinidad and Tobago, we, this 11th Council, introduced a week of sporting activities. And this year would have been the second year. After which is we are presently in the second week of our calendar of events. And this week is the week of youth activities. These are activities that the schools or educational institutions and alike, they look forward to these events because this is where we get the participation of our primary and secondary school students to participate in educational forums. And as we move along, the very much exciting and anticipating events that are free of charge, we know most persons look forward to them, are the ones hosted by the councillors of each electoral district. So each councillor, based on the uniqueness of their electoral district, they put on a show. It could be cultural or a sporting event. And if you look at the third week on the calendar of event, that begins somewhere around the 18th, if not the 18th, somewhere the weekend, this weekend coming from on the 21st and the 22nd, you will see the spotlight events. And those spotlight events are the events that are hosted by the councillors who represent those electoral districts. As I said, these are events that are our burgesses and not only the burgesses, but surrounding communities and regions look forward to attending because it's a variety and a mixture of both cultural, a cultural type show, and then there's also sporting activities also in some of these spotlight events. As we move along, a very, very, very popular event is our military parade. And if I say so myself, it is one of the second biggest military parade after our Independence Day parade. This is where all the various security agencies come together and they come to Point Fortin and they put on a show, a fanfare for the people of Point Fortin. And on that particular day, we have droves of persons coming in, buses, PTSD buses, coming in to Point Fortin to witness and experience our military parade. On that day as well, as the military parade ends during the midday, we have the icons in the sun. And this is where persons like the Neil Iwer George and the Super Blue, and you just name it, because Point Fortin is the cultural capital of Trinidad and Tobago. These are the persons that come and they put on a show back at home, because this is their home. This is where it started for all of them. They put on a show for the people of Point Fortin and the visiting public. So on the 28th of April is another big day that you can also mark off on the calendar as one that you should attend. As we move along, you will see that there are some new events, and I could share that with you. We are hoping to host, and I use the term hoping because we are still in conversation with some of our key stakeholders who have some interest in adopting this event. That is the Borough Day, the Point Fortin Borough Day Soca Festival. I know on the calendar we have Monarch, and we want to apologize, but that has to be removed because the name of the event is the Point Fortin Borough Day Soca Festival. And this is where we invite our local Calypsonian and soca artists from right here in Point Fortin, those of that are budding Calypsonians and soca artists. And then the invitation is an open one where we have also other persons who have interest in participating can also register. But as I said, we are hoping to host the event. Conversations are still ongoing, and we are hoping by the end of the week that we could have finalized and firm up on this particular event, because it is a first for us in 2014. We also have the marathon, which is another very popular event on the calendar. And again, runners from all parts of Trinidad and Tobago come to Point Fortin and participate in our marathon. And that will be held on the 23rd of April. Another very popular event is the Mayor's event. And this year, the Mayor's event is taking the form of an all-inclusive, charitable all-inclusive event, and it's titled Legacy. This event, the purpose of this event, again, is just what it says, a charity. It goes back to the various charitable organizations in Point Fortin and to the development and enhancement of the borough of Point Fortin. So this is an event that we welcome the people of Point Fortin and Trinidad and Tobago to come and, enjoy with us.
Excellent.
Also,
persons are asking, how do they get tickets and how they can get more information? Where should they go?
Right. So for the Legacies Mayor's All-Inclusive event, the tickets you can contact, and may I ask my chairman at this point, because I have some of the information, but I don't want to give you information that is not accurate. But at this point, I will ask him to share that information so that it can be registered correctly.
Sure. Welcome, Chairman.
Okay, thanks again. Tickets for Legacy, you can call the committee members. You can call 295-3110, 466-5880, 462-0951, 720-3350, 701-0183. Okay. So that's some of the committee members. You can also go on Ticket Federation and purchase the tickets online.
Okay, great. And this will go for most of the main events, yes?
Well, actually, we only have the majority of our events are free. So this most likely is one of the few paid ones.
Thank you so much. Her Worship, persons are asking about security and safety while they're fetting in the borough. I don't know if you want to touch on that a bit.
Yes, most definitely. And the history would have shown that over the years, our Borough Day celebrations would have been one of the safest, with minor, with minor security issues. But this year, what I can tell you, we have already started our security meetings and will have meeting with all key representatives of all the security agencies under the Ministry of National Security. And actually, tomorrow we have another meeting. So every Wednesday we meet, they come to Point Fortin, and we have this security meeting to ensure that all the proper security protocols and measures are in place. So it is without any fear that this year's celebration, we know security will be increased, although we know over the years we have been one of the safest Borough Day celebrations in Trinidad and Tobago. This year we are actually tripling the number of security forces that will be on the streets, particularly during the Juve celebrations and in the evening when we have the parade of the bands and the pan on the move.
So could you tell us what is the route for both Juve and Pan on the Move?
Right. So the route is basically straightforward. We are hoping for bands. There may be more than one route because of the number of bands that we are hearing would have registered so far. We are looking at over 25 Juve bands, and because of this, we cannot have all the bands starting at the same point. But I can tell you of the main route, which will be bands coming down the main stretch or main road into Point Fortin, that is into the town center. That will take you around the market square, and you will come past to the front of the market square and come around to the back of the market, back up the main road, and then onto Adventure Road, and then off onto the T-shaped main road. So it's very simple, and I would have just given you one of the main routes.
Yes.
But as I said, they are looking at more than one route so that we will not have all these bands having to assemble in one point.
Okay, excellent. I'd also like to know, how important is the Borough Day to the city of Point Fortin? How important is it to the economy of the borough, to persons participating, whether vending or spectating? How important is this day to the borough?
It is extremely important, and you said something there, and I like that. So you were being very, prophetic. You said city.
Yes.
So yes, we're getting to that place.
Visualizing it, acclaiming it.
Yes. 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 Right. So yes, and as I said earlier on, when the Borough Day celebrations started, that was the main purpose: economic development. Focus was on our business community. So this event, or this year calendar of events, will help to only increase and boost economic development activities in Point Fortin. Coming out of a pandemic, and you know what the pandemic would have done for some of the small businesses.
Yes.
And Point Fortin is not unique to any other area in Trinidad and Tobago in the world that would have been affected. So this year's celebration, because last year we would not have been able to celebrate it in person. It was more of a virtual, enclosed type anniversary celebrations due to the pandemic. So this year, being the first after 2 to 3 years, you could only imagine, the anticipation of the business owners and the burgesses themselves. And I just always say, Borough Day is about the lady who makes the red mango. Borough Day is about the man with the corn soup on the corner. The lady with her tulum and her sugar cake in the basket walking around. Could you only imagine at the end of just probably the weekend, I'm not even talking about the other activities, what this is going to do for my people? I say my people because I am also a Burgess here. I live here.
Yes.
You know what this is going to do for my people? It makes me feel good knowing that, coming out or at the end of the celebrations, these small businesses, men and women, at the end of it, they could comfortably provide for their families, and not only for a week, but you make an income or a revenue that could last for possibly a few months, and then we go again, because Christmas will come upon us, and Point Fortin is an area that also celebrates Christmas in a big way. Yes. So and we go again, and this is something that the business community, they are so grateful, for the calendar of events, the wide scope of events, because we know that we will have joy of persons coming in. And could you imagine when the highway is open? It will double and triple the
That's
revenue
right.
that
Yeah, because it's one
the
smooth
business
sailing from us in the north. We coming down. One smooth road, one smooth sailing.
That's right. That's right.
Chairman,
Yes.
could you tell us, in your own words, to those who are listening for the first time, why they should not miss Borough Day 2023?
So that's easy, So in my own words, Borough Day is the second best festival after Carnival. It's only second to Carnival. That's the only thing could beat Borough Day. Nothing else in the whole of Trinidad, and may I say Tobago, maybe the world.
I love it.
We want to invite everyone to come down. I mean, we have a small borough, but we have plenty space. So come down and enjoy yourself.
And
you will be safe.
Go ahead.
So as I said, we have the safety cover. Don't worry about that. Point isn't known for the setup crime and stuff like that. And as the mayor said, the security forces will be out there in full. So come down and enjoy yourself.
And where is the go-to place to eat when we reach the point? I love my belly. And I want to come somewhere where I could have a nice point meal, significant to point alone. I must come back every year looking for this place. Where would you recommend?
So if I say that, I might look like a bias. So
all right, okay, fair enough.
All the personal point, cook good food.
Fair enough. Just buy food.
Excellent answer, Chairman.
I mean, listen, the man good. I gave him that. He good. So, my dear Her Worship Mayor, we just have a few more minutes left. I'm going to allow you to talk to your burgesses in Point Fortin. We have a very large listenership down there. And, of course, go ahead and talk to them. Let them know what they can expect of you. And, of course, declare Borough Day open on this show right now. You open it here. Go ahead and open it.
All right. So, permit me to just share with you briefly about the theme of Borough. Let me share that with the people of Point Fortin who can be proud of where you reside and who you represent when you go out there. Our 43rd anniversary meets with us with a refined organizational vision of being a model of local government, transforming Point Fortin into the preferred place to live, work, invest, and recreate. And this year, our 2023 celebrations theme, Building a Future, Creating a Legacy, speaks to the essence of our vision. It highlights our focus of sustainable projects that can benefit even future generations and our endeavors to uplift the ambitions of our people. So Point Fortin and Trinidad and Tobago, this is an event, second best, the second after the biggest cultural show on earth, which is our carnival. You cannot miss it. If you did not get the opportunity to experience Carnival 2023, and what did they call it? The mother of all carnivals, 2023. We invite you to come down to Point Fortin Borough Days celebrations this year. We have the packed calendar of events for you. To my people of Point Fortin, our hospitality, we know from time the visitors land and they reach, you know that the best when it comes to hospitality, I am very confident of the people of Point Fortin, the restaurants that you're going to visit for the best local dishes that, being cooked and catered by the best caterers in Trinidad and Tobago. And I boast of Point Fortin having the best in everything, not only in culture and sports and education and politics, but when it comes to cooking, come on, you're licking your fingers. You're in what you leave. So I know the people of Point Fortin, they are eagerly awaiting our visitors to host them the way that we know to. And I want to say to the people of Point Fortin, congratulations on turning 43 years. We did it. You did it. By the hard work of our forefathers, you continue to display and exemplify who we are as people of Point Fortin. I say thank you to my people, and I'm very, very proud and happy to lead and represent this 11th council of the beautiful borough of Point Fortin, the preferred place to live, work, invest, and recreate. I thank you, 91.9, for giving us this opportunity here this afternoon, and may God continue to richly bless each and every one of you.
I mean, Mia, let me tell you, when you started the show, you was a little bit nervous. Now you look like you're going from a walk. You're sounding like a talk show host, like you're made for radio. Thank you so much for this interview today. And I said, I'm going to be down there. I'm going to have a time, and I'll definitely come look for you guys. Thank you so much for this interview today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And all the best to you.
All the best to you as well.